Welcome everybody to our program today, Psoriatic Arthritis and You. I'm Jane, I'm a nurse and one of the arthritis educators. So today we're going to look at, I've changed my slide. We are going to be looking at psoriatic arthritis, what is it, who gets it and why, the possible effects, medical and the self-management. So we will, doing as we usually do and posting the webinar on our YouTube channel, but I'll just keep talking through what we plan to cover today and we'll go from there. So psoriatic arthritis, of course, is an inflammatory autoimmune arthritis condition. It's one of many inflammatory arthritis conditions. It generally affects people, both men and women, between the ages of 30 and 60. It can also affect people in childhood. We don't know all the reasons why people may develop this condition. It's thought that for some people it could be, there could be some genetic or hereditary reasons why people may develop the condition. About 40% of people with this form of arthritis have a family member with a similar or the same kind of arthritis. Environmental factors are also thought to be perhaps a causative factor, including infections, but more research is needed to really clarify what the causes are. So it's different for everybody, of course, but there's a number of ways you can be affected by this condition. It may involve joint pain, stiffness, swelling. About 1 in 3 people will also have inflammation in the spine, which is called spondylitis, and that will often include buttock pain, stiff back or stiff neck. For many people, swelling in the fingers and toes are common. It can also include discoloration and thickening of the toenails particularly. Not everybody, but some people will also, usually prior to being diagnosed with the with psoriatic arthritis, may have a skin condition, psoriasis, and that involves red scaly rash, particularly on the elbows, knees, back, buttocks and scalp. There are also whole body symptoms that may be experienced, a general sense of unwellness, a loss of appetite, sometimes weight loss, fatigue can be a big part of this condition. Sometimes also anemia. The eyes may be affected. There can be pain and redness in the eyes. Also tender spots where the tendons and ligaments join to the bones, and that's often in like the feet and elbows. I'll touch more on flare-ups and remissions a little bit further on in the program, but these can be quite common when you're living with any form of inflammatory arthritis. So treatments or management include medical management, which I'll touch on now, and also, of course, self-management. So medical management obviously involves the diagnosis, and the sooner you get a diagnosis, the better, but it can be a bit of a process. There's no one single test for this condition. So it usually involves physical examination, history or medical history. It may involve x-rays and other forms of scanning, and definitely blood tests. There's no blood test which will confirm or not that you have this arthritis, but blood tests are often used to eliminate other conditions and certainly to check your inflammatory markers as one way of working towards a diagnosis. If your GP suspects that you have this or any other form of inflammatory arthritis, it is really important that you are referred to a rheumatologist, which is a specialist arthritis doctor. Medications are often part of the medical management of this condition, and the medications, of course, will vary, but they're basically around dampening down the inflammation. So it may be that medications that are prescribed for you include things like non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications. For some people, DMARDs or disease-modifying medications. And also, again, for some people, biologic therapies. So everybody, again, is really different. So there's no one medication or one combination of medications that works the same for every person. So again, it can be a little bit of a process to find the right medication and the right combination for you. So a health team, if you're living with any long-term health condition, a health team, and you being the most important person in this team, is a really important way to be supported to manage your condition. Obviously, your GP and your practice nurse are your first point of contact, and as I mentioned, you should be referred to a rheumatologist if you have any form of inflammatory arthritis. Through the DHB rheumatology services, there's always a rheumatology nurse part of that service, and they're a great person to know about and have contact with, and be able to message and connect with in between your appointments if you've perhaps got questions around medications or anything that's happening for you. Your community pharmacist, don't forget about your community pharmacist. They're a really important person in your health team. They are very skilled, of course, around medications. It's important that you collect your prescription medications from the same pharmacy so that they know you and you can ask questions and talk about any issues, of course, around your medications with the pharmacist. As arthritis educators, we are also here as part of your team, and our role is really to support you to understand your diagnosis, and in particular, really to understand and support you with confidence and motivation around the self-management aspects of living with a long-term health condition. And I'll talk about those in a moment. It may also be that you are referred to other allied health professionals, might be a physiotherapist, for example, or if your feet are particularly affected, someone like a podiatrist. Okay, so just touching now on the self-management aspects that are really important part of looking after yourself, looking after your well-being generally, managing your symptoms, reducing flare-ups, which I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment also. So obviously keeping active, it's a really key part of our well-being generally. With arthritis, you're aiming for low impact activities and obviously finding things that you enjoy and you're motivated to keep going with. So I'm going to suggest that if you don't know where to start, as well as talking to one of us arthritis educators, you can also call Green Prescription or ask for a referral to Green Prescription from your practice nurse or doctor. Green Prescription is a national program. They can support you to know what kind of exercises are okay for you to do, depending on your health conditions, and they know what is available in your local community. We've got a lot more information on all aspects of these key self-management tools, if you like, on our website and also on our YouTube channel. So I'll just touch quickly on healthy eating now. A lot of people ask us if there's a special arthritis diet, and there isn't as such, but the aim is to eat mostly whole foods. You want to be careful about eating foods that are too highly processed or refined. They often have a lot of sugar in them and a lot of other things that aren't very, that are very inflammatory in the body. So yes, focusing on all those key messages that we know, lots of fruit and vegetables, a little bit of healthy protein, omega-3 with fish can be useful if you're living with arthritis. Just the tins of fish that you can get at the supermarket, oily fish like sardines, tuna, mackerel, 2 or 3 times a week, they can be really helpful. Don't forget to keep hydrated. It's an important part of your energy levels as well. So managing stress, again, is really a really important strategy and really important to develop some tools to manage stress. Having a lot of stress can create a lot of inflammation again in the body and really highlight your symptoms, including your pain and fatigue. So it's working on finding what you find useful to manage stress. And managing your stress can also be really useful around supporting quality sleep and relaxation. So learning techniques around breathing, using relaxation techniques. For some people that means mindfulness, managing stress through distraction, which is being involved in really enjoyable, absorbing activities for you. They're all part of ways that you can manage stress. Joint protection, really, really important. And some of the key joint protection messages are around things like pacing. It's really important to plan and prioritize your day, whatever your roles and responsibilities are, so that you can try to keep your days as balanced as possible, so that you have time to also do some enjoyable activities and have some rest and relaxation as part of your day. So as I said, we have more information on all of these aspects of well-being on our website and on our YouTube channel, and of course you can also talk to one of us educators if you need some more support around this. So just to quickly touch on flare-ups and setback plans. Flare-ups can be common when you're living with inflammatory conditions like psoriatic arthritis. There's different reasons why you might have a flare-up. Some people notice patterns. Sometimes it's from overdoing things from a physical point of view. It might be that you've been going through a very stressful time. So flare-ups generally mean you're highlighting your symptoms, your pain and fatigue and other symptoms that are part of your condition. So learning about your condition, learning about those self-management strategies, but also if you find that you're having regular flare-ups and they're not, they should be just lasting for short periods of time. But if you haven't seen your doctors for a while, it might be important to check in with them. It may be that you also need some review of your medications. So managing flares, also sometimes it's a good idea to have a setback plan. Write down some of the things that you know can help you move out of that flare up. Often when we're not in a good place, we don't make good decisions. So if you can write it down, stick it on your fridge to remind you and perhaps others that you're living with, that these are some of the things that you need support with to, as I say, move out of the flare up. So I'm going to start winding up now and we'll have time shortly for your questions. But again, just to remind you about our services, our 0800 phone line, 0800 663 463, to speak to an arthritis educator. And also our website and YouTube channel, we have lots of information which can really fill out what we've touched on today. So So just also to let you know or remind you that Arthritis New Zealand is a charitable trust, and we really depend on public donations, so that our services can continue, including these kind of presentations. So we really appreciate it if you could go onto our website and use the donate button. Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to just check in and see if anyone has any questions. Oh, the other important thing to say, of course, and some of you may know about this, but on our Facebook pages, we also have a variety of different support groups, and we have a support group for those of you living with psoriatic arthritis. So if you don't know about that, go on to our Arthritis New Zealand Facebook and you'll find the psoriatic arthritis support group. And that's a really fantastic way that you can share with each other and support each other. Okay, so no questions for today, and that's great. And again, apologies for the hiccups at the beginning with our slides. So this webinar was also recorded and will be on our YouTube channel. So if you know other people who might be interested, we keep all our webinars available for people to check in with another time. Okay, so take care. Till next time. Thank you.